隠してやろうか。
Ishimori Uka was a timid girl who struggled to make friends in middle school, leaving her lonely and uncertain. While thinking about which high school to attend, she ran into Remy, a classmate who often tormented her. As expected, Remy pushed her down and mocked her choice of a less popular school filled with so-called losers. Uka endured the insult quietly, fists clenched in frustration. Soon after, she noticed Miura Kai, a cheerful boy with lemon-colored hair who always carried a bottle of lemon soda. He approached Uka with a smile, shook his bottle playfully, and encouraged her to join the same high school as him. For the first time, Uka felt a spark of hope, imagining a fresh start away from bullying. And from that small spark of hope, her story began. This is Honey Lemon Soda.
Honey lemon soda.
Eventually, Uka was accepted into Kai's school. On her first day, she pedaled her bicycle with a hopeful smile, ready for better days ahead. Kai's arrival at the school immediately attracted attention, but his popularity also fueled jealousy among other students. When they mocked him, he splashed lemon soda in response. Unfortunately, Uka walked by at the wrong time and got drenched. Kai's astonishment only grew when he realized she had enrolled in the same school. Determined to adapt, Uka began talking with her new classmates and slowly opened up. Yet her progress stalled when she discovered that Remy had also joined the school. In the corridor, Remy picked up where she left off, mocking Uka and calling her stone for her quiet demeanor. She tossed Uka's belongings in the trash. While Uka stayed silent, unable to fight back. Kai noticed her struggles and urged her to speak up. He told her she needed to find the strength to confront her bullies or at least seek help. Uka listened, clenching her hands tightly as she held back her emotions. She did not want to be a burden to others, so she chose silence once again, convincing herself to stay as unyielding as stone. The next day, Uka once again faced Remy and her friends in a quiet corner of the school. Remy demanded that she buy food, but Uka stayed silent, standing still like a stone. Angered, Remy shoved her to the ground. The commotion drew the attention of nearby students, including Kai. Seeing Uka's suffering, Kai crouched beside her and told her he was ready to help. Overwhelmed, Uka finally broke down in tears and asked for his support. Kai comforted her with a gentle pat on the head, then stood and firmly warned Remy and her group to stop. His sharp tone left no room for defiance, and Remy stormed away without another word. From that moment, Uka's days grew more peaceful. She also gained 3 new friends through Kai, Ayumi Endo, Satoru Sito, and Tomoya Takamine. One afternoon in class, Kai appeared to be fast asleep at his desk while Uka chatted happily with her new friends. They asked why she had chosen their school. Uka shared her past, admitting she had been bullied in middle school and had no friends. She explained that she acted like a rock to protect herself and avoid burdening others. Yet someone had given her the courage to hope again and try for a normal high school life. What Uka did not realize was that Kai, though pretending to sleep, had heard every word. One day, the teacher rearranged the classroom seating. By chance, Uka ended up sitting next to Kai in the front row. From that point, Kai noticed her intelligence and came up with an idea. During class, he announced that anyone who befriended Uka would see their grades improve. His classmates believed him and started approaching Uka, eager to become friends. For the first time, Uka felt included, supported by both Kai and her classmates.
ただの優等生じゃなくて、実はすげえから。
Tomoya observed Kai's growing attention toward Uka and suspected he had special feelings for her. Kai, however, denied it. What no one knew was that behind his cheerful personality, Kai carried a hidden part of his life. One afternoon, Kai invited Uka to a cafe for a study session with his friends. Exams were near, and the group relied on Uka to help explain the material. They worked together, creating a sense of teamwork and support. Their study session was interrupted when Serena, Kai's ex-girlfriend, arrived with 2 of her friends. Although she and Kai had broken up, they remained on friendly terms. The atmosphere turned sour when one of Serena's friends insulted Uka, calling her unworthy of sitting beside Kai. Serena immediately reacted by grabbing a glass and pouring its contents on her friend, then apologized to Uka for the cruel remark. The next day, Serena faced consequences on the school rooftop. Surrounded by her friends, she was pressured to apologize for what they saw as embarrassing behavior. The tension escalated until one of them prepared to strike her. At that moment, Uka appeared and, despite her timid nature, defended Serena. Soon after, Kai arrived and joined in. Together, they forced the group to back off. As the confrontation ended, Uka noticed the closeness between Kai and Serena. Watching them together made her uneasy. She realized Kai still seemed to care for Serena, and though she did not know why they had broken up, her own insecurities deepened. Compared to the beautiful Serena, Uka felt small and inadequate. One afternoon, during a conversation with Serena and Ayumi, Uka learned about Serena's past with Kai. Back in middle school, Serena had suffered severe bullying from her friends, even worse than what Uka had endured. In those difficult times, Kai defended her and stood against the bullying. Grateful for his support, Serena grew close to him, but she later realized she could not depend on him forever. That realization led to their breakup. Serena assured Uka that their bond was no longer special, but Uka still suspected she had lingering feelings for Kai. Troubled by doubt, Uka began to distance herself from Kai without giving him an explanation. Kai noticed her sudden change and tried to reach out, refusing to give up on her. Their silence broke during a festival, where Kai confronted her. Uka remained quiet, holding on to her stone-like facade. Still, Kai did not back down. He gently held her hands, looked into her eyes, and told her that beneath her hardened exterior, she shone like a precious gemstone. His words moved Uka to tears, and he comforted her once again. At that moment, she realized she was deeply in love with him. Days later, Uka learned about the hidden side of Kai's life. He worked nights as a part-time bartender to support himself since he lived alone. The pressure of school and work eventually made him sick, and he stopped attending classes. Concerned, Uka gathered the courage to visit his apartment. She found him collapsed from a high fever and immediately cared for him, preparing porridge and staying by his side. During her visit, she noticed his parents were never around, and Kai explained they were living abroad.
連絡先教えていただいてもいいですか?
聞きたいと思ってんの俺だけじゃなかったわ。ほんとめんどくさいぐらい俺の異変に気づくよな。
Kai soon recovered and returned to school, but his popularity continued to draw attention from other girls. This made Uka insecure once again. Tomoya also noticed and warned Kai that his popularity could put his relationship with Uka at risk. To reassure her, Kai wrote a heartfelt message in her notebook, promising that he would always need her and would search for her no matter where she went. Still, Uka's lack of confidence kept her from fully accepting his love. Encouraged by Ayumi, Uka finally gathered the courage to confess her feelings. To her surprise, Kai responded by kissing her.
ここに来たかったんです。
もしかしてあの日から俺は
彼女になりたいです。
From then on, they openly showed their relationship at school. Some students doubted their compatibility, claiming Uka was unworthy of being Kai's partner, but Kai silenced the criticism by proudly declaring they were officially dating. As their relationship deepened, Uka and Kai spent more time together, studying and visiting their favorite places.
ここでしょ。
何ですか?
それは。
はいはい、知ってます。
However, their happiness was disrupted when Uka wrote a question in Kai's journal about his family background. His attitude changed instantly. He avoided the subject, refused to discuss it even with her, and soon began to withdraw not only from Uka but also from his friends. Worried about Kai, Tomoya confided in Uka and revealed that Kai was working part-time as a bartender. Shocked and concerned, Uka rushed to the bar to see him. The moment Kai noticed her at the entrance, he quickly pulled her outside. Uka confronted him, asking why he had kept the job a secret. She argued that working as a bartender was nothing to be ashamed of. Kai disagreed. To him, the bar belonged to the nightlife, a world he believed was not right for Uka. She rejected his reasoning, insisting that as his partner she had the right to know where he was and what he was doing. Kai, however, felt her words were an intrusion into his private life. Without giving any further explanation, he walked away, leaving Uka confused and hurt. On Christmas Eve, Uka celebrated joyfully with her friends, while Kai had to work. Later that night, Kai saw photos of Uka's happiness on social media. The sight moved him deeply and made him realize how important she was in his life. Acting on that realization, Kai left his job and rushed to find her. By the time he reached the celebration, Uka had already gone. Only their friends remained. Kai apologized to them for hiding his personal struggles. They accepted his reasons and showed their support. They also told him that Uka was heading toward the place where she and Kai had first met. Determined, Kai borrowed Satoru's bicycle and sped off. At last, Kai caught up with Uka. There, he answered the question she had once written in his journal. Fighting back tears, He revealed that his mother had died when he was 3 years old and his father had disappeared during his last year of middle school. Since then, he had lived alone, carrying the fear that anyone he loved would eventually abandon him. Hearing this, Uka promised to stay by his side no matter what. With that vow, the story closed on their shared commitment and the hope of building a future together. So the moral of the story is, if life keeps treating you like a stone, just find a guy with lemon soda and everything will somehow work out.